So how good are dry dabs? One thing I think is funny is a lot of people have taken a dry dab or a dry hit on accident. They forgot to put water in their piece. They just cleaned it, whatever, charged it, whatever. They go to take a rip and they realize a few seconds later or a moment later, oh man, there's not water in here. And some people freak out immediately and they're like, oh, I gotta stop my hit. I gotta go get water in here. Oh no, I ruined it. I messed up. But honestly, if you've done dry dabs and you're not dabbing something awful and doing it way too hot, dry dabs aren't that bad. They're not super harsh, I think is what a lot of people would assume. Most people, when you talk about dry dabs, are like, oh my God, it's gonna be 1,000-degree vapor in my throat. And I always wonder, like, how hot are you dabbing? You know, we stopped doing glowies years ago, right? But I think more people are coming around to the idea of taking their concentrate hits without water filtration, without percolation. I mean, probably a lot of people have done a hit off of a dab pen without any water percolation. Vape pens are like the worst kind of dabs you can do, but they don't need water percolation. So when you have a high-end device like the Peak Pro, you know that you can really dial in the temperature and the time for your hit. So your hit shouldn't be too harsh if you choose to not put water in it, unless you're just dabbing too hot. But a lot of people ask, what's the point of a dry dab? Well, what's the point of a wet one? What's the point of the water percolation, the water filtration? It makes a lot of sense when you're smoking, right? You're lighting plant material on fire. It makes a lot of sense there. You're trying to take big old milky rips of some flour. And when you've lit the plant material on fire, it's pretty hot. You go to inhale it through your water pipe. That water does a good job cleaning it up and cooling it down. But do your concentrate hits need to be cleaned up and cooled down? Well, not if you're doing them right and not if you have good concentrate. We're just sitting at a little MJArsenal bridge top here, which actually, it serves as a good little dry top here. Nice little clear dome on there. I just did the hit with the hose to get a little bit of extra travel time for the vapor to cool off, but this does a really good job. I've actually been hitting it like this quite a bit. What are they? Quick little scoop of Banana Shack there. But back to what I was saying, if you have good quality concentrate and you're not dabbing it too hot, the water's not doing too much for you. It's doing something for sure, depending on the top that you're using, depending on how much water it's going through. But if you're dabbing at like a good low temperature, under 550, under 530, I think this one's set to like 495 right now. If you're not dabbing crazy hot, right? You're not putting your concentrate on a red hot nail like people were doing back in the day. You don't need to cool it too much. I mean, it travels through the atomizer, through the little glass dome here. A little bit of the heat from the vapor sinks into the glass, and then you just start inhaling it. If you've used like a dab pen, sure, some of those are a little bit less accurate with the heat and they can be hot, but something like a proxy, right out of the box, it does really solid dry hits. They're not too hot, they're not too harsh, but this is much larger for the hit. I have the 3D XL on here. I have more temperature options, and I'm genuinely putting way more in here than I would put in a proxy. So even with a larger concentrate hit, it's not that bad. And for me, I don't think that there's a huge difference in harshness from water to no water. I think when you do a dry top regularly, you start to experience more flavor. Some things take a little bit of getting used to. You might not hit one dry top for your first time, like, oh wow, I notice a huge difference. But after a little bit of regular use, it's a slightly different pull between water percolation and a dry top. Once you get used to it, you're gonna notice a little bit more flavor. Now, maybe your dabs don't have that much flavor as it is, so you're not gonna notice too much of a difference. But if you have really, really flavorful stuff and you're hitting it through a water top every time, you might be doing yourself a disservice, and you might want to try a dry top out just once. Oh, I don't have a dry top. I don't want it. Just don't put water in your top one time and try it at a low temp. Or this guy is actually pretty cheap. I got like a Cewpins code over at MJArsenal. Check this guy out. I really like it. But I've been hitting this quite a bit on my Twitch stream. They also make one with 3 ports on it. You can put 3 hoses on it and sesh with your friends. But I've been using it on Twitch. You should come sesh with me. The sesh is at 9 p.m. Eastern. And I'm liking this top because it's one less thing I got to put water in. So basically, it's dab o'clock. Yo, did you know you can get this shirt on Amazon? There's a link in the description. So look, if you haven't tried a dry top yet, give it a whack. And if you have tried a dry top yet and knows who makes the coolest ones, let me know in the comments. I'm looking for more. I only have a couple. And look, I think I need more. I mean, all my tops are dry tops if I don't put water in them, but you know what I mean. Look, I like the hose, but also I could go no hose. Either way, look, I got really high in this video. I think I had more points to make, but look, have a lit day, my dudes.